So there is a Me Too movement with McDonald workers. And it's not just the McDonald workers. There's also other issues with people, I said, like that are the 99%. And you have this small fraction that has grown over the years of 99 percenters, where a lot of people are not making high incomes and it's affecting them greatly. And these jobs, they're not really being treated well on these jobs. And so here we have a lot of striking. We have a lot of workers that have decided not to come back to jobs that they've been treated horribly on. So McDonald workers plan a one-day strike to protest sexual harassment of employees. So you would think that this would not be happening at McDonald's, but a lot of these jobs have secrets, and these secrets are slowly but surely they are coming out. They're being revealed. So this is a Jerisi Jones, and so it says Me Too McDonald's, and so it was wages, but now it's sexual harassment. So a current and former McDonald employee wear tape with Me Too over the mouths of their protest in New Orleans on Tuesday. This was September 18, and this says 2018 right here, but McDonald's workers, they staged a protest in several cities on Tuesday as part of what organizers billed as the first multi-state strike. So it's not just in one state. This was posted on the 22nd of October in 2021. So this is something that's been boiling over and is long overdue. So McDonald workers in several cities are planning a one-day walkout. And so the one-day walkout is on Tuesday to protest what they say is continued sexual harassment of employees and to call for the workforce to unionize to help address problems that happen on the job. So employees in at least 10 cities, including Tampa, Florida, Chicago, St. Louis, intend to strike in response to the alleged rape of a 14-year-old McDonald's worker in Pittsburgh by her manager. Okay, so let me read that again. She was a 14-year-old McDonald's worker. She was alleged to be raped. This was in Pittsburgh by her manager, and other allegations of harassment at the fast food giant's restaurants, according to the Fight for $15 and unionizing, a group of fast food and other low-wage workers that are organizing a walkout. And so the action would be the latest in a series of strikes taking place across the country as workers use leverage gained from the nationwide labor shortage to demand higher pay, better benefits, and stronger workplace protections. So I do believe that we're in a moment where workers are standing up more for their rights, says Jamelia Fairley, a McDonald's employee in Sanford, Florida, who is a main plaintiff in the class action lawsuit alleging McDonald's has created a hostile work environment that allows sexual harassment and violates the Civil Rights Act. I have met others who have experienced sexual harassment, and we want a union to prevent this from happening. So, a stunning reluctance. McDonald's has faced numerous complaints about sexual harassment as well as racism in recent years, and workers in the fight of $15 a raise and a union have been staged 4 previous walkouts. Okay, so April, McDonald's, this was in April, announced a new global guideline focused on several areas, including the prevention of harassment, discrimination, retaliation, and job site violence. So starting in January, restaurants will be evaluated based on whether they conduct required training on those issues, set up procedures for workers to make complaints, and other measures. And so every single person working at McDonald's restaurants deserves to feel safe and respected when they come to work. The sexual harassment and assaults have no place in a McDonald's restaurant. So McDonald's US said in the U.S. in a statement sent to USA Today, we know more work is needed to further our workplace ambitions, which is why all 40,000 McDonald's restaurants will be assessed and accountable to global brand standards. But workers and labor advocates say that they see little progress happening so far, and they believe that union can help employees gain better protections from harassment and other workplace challenges. So McDonald's has a stunning reluctance to want to talk to its own workers, the survivors of sexual harassment, about what they can do to make this right, says Eve Cervantes, who has represented several employees who made sexual harassment claims against McDonald's and the franchises. And so she had added that McDonald's announcements of new standards to stop sexual harassment and discrimination seem more like a PR strategy, and that her clients are asking for companies to work with survivors and experts to create more effective training policies and measures of accountability. So in September, the U.S. Equal Opportunity Commission filed a lawsuit alleging that AMTCR, the McDonald's franchise, did not respond sufficiently to numerous complaints that mostly teenage workers were being sexually harassed at many of roughly 22 McDonald's restaurants, and it runs in Nevada, California as well, and Arizona. That same month, so a McDonald's employee filed a lawsuit alleging that a manager raped her in a Pittsburgh restaurant in February when she was 14 years old. So they advertise everywhere, "This is your first best job." Attract these mostly young women, says Alan Pirer, a teenager's attorney, who says the manager was a previously convicted sex offender who has since been arrested and fired from for the attack on his client. So to place them in harm's way and not protect them by not hiring properly and not overseeing what's going on is just shocking. And so there's walkouts for wages and better working conditions. And so with many employers saying that they are struggling to fill empty positions and a record-breaking 4.3 million Americans quitting their jobs in August, thousands of workers across the U.S. are going on strike to call for better pay and working conditions. Over 10,000 employees, Deere and Company, walked off their job this month, the first strike of the farm equipment manufacturer in 35 years. Roughly 1,400 employees of the Kellogg's Company U.S. cereal plants are on strike over a range of issues, including vacation pay and retirement benefits. And more than 1,500 Kaiser Permanente pharmacists, speech-language pathologists, other therapists in Hawaii and California are scheduled to vote next week on whether to give their union authorization to call a strike if negotiations break down over issues like wages and staffing. And so you can follow this person on Twitter, Charisse Jones, Twitter at Charisse Jones. So this article appeared in USA Today. So McDonald's union, the workers to strike Tuesday in the latest labor action. So this is a big deal, y'all. I know McDonald's is usually, people look at it as like, it's just a fast food, but people are tired, sick and tired, and it's showing in these jobs. People have gotten tired of this low pay, low benefit, and it's not meeting the COLA, the cost of living here, and surviving, and I know some people say, well, those jobs were for teenagers, well, you got teenagers working there, and they're getting sexually harassed and abused. And so now there's multiple lawsuits. And so it's not even safe for them to work there. And so, let alone people who are older and they're not teenagers, but still, these are real issues that are being put out now on the forefront. And so we're going to see a lot more of this, and it's already happening. It's already taking place where there's strikes everywhere. There's people walking out, and we heard about Netflix, with the Dave Chappelle incident. That whole thing, that's, it's just people are tired. They're sick and tired. They don't want to be taken for granted. And I know that's another, but, to be looked at as insignificant and unimportant. And this is just yet another example of that. Here you got teenagers, they can't even work at these jobs for fear that they're working around somebody that is convicted sexual offender. And here they're predators and they're raping kids on the job. These places are, not paying benefits. They're not, helping people that might be retired. They want to supplement their income. You don't feel safe. You're being mistreated. And so all these things, and you're putting your life in danger on who you're working around. If you got teenagers that are complaining that they're being sexually harassed, and adults that are complaining that they're being sexually harassed or abused on these jobs. And so we ought to take these things serious. And so, yeah, the world is changing. There's a lot of people who are not wanting to go back to these places, and rightfully so. And so we will see a lot more of this. And these strikes are happening all over. They're not happening in one state. They're happening in multiple states because people have had it up to here, so to speak. And so it's time out for all of this. And so, yeah, Me Too is bigger than what people knew. It is reaching the work environment, and there has been workplace violence. There is workplace violence in educational fields. You can be a teacher on the job and you can be sexually harassed. You can be abused. You can be harmed. Somebody can attack you. Another teacher can attack another teacher because she doesn't like something about you or sexually harass you. A lot of things are happening that people wouldn't believe have been happening, and they've flown under the radar. So having said that, yeah, we're going to see a lot more of this. It's already happening. It's already starting. So we're coming into a new time where people have had it. They're not going to put up with this anymore.